Greetings, students taking Dr. Garrett Dicker's Schools, Families, and Communities class this summer. Dr. Garrett Dickers asked me to put together a little bit of a video presentation responding to applying Epstein to higher education for those folks who are focused on the higher education world. I had the opportunity to learn a little bit about Joyce Epstein because I was interested in parental involvement in higher ed. So she suggested I take a look at the foundational theorists. So Joyce Epstein was the chosen go-to on this one, which was a perfect place to start to get my understanding because her book, School, Family, and Community Partnerships, Preparing Educators and Improving Schools, really gave me the theoretical and the foundation for looking at parental involvement and why K through 12 is set up the way that it is in terms of addressing students, parents, families, and their involvement. So the foundation was that Epstein proposed that parents are critical actors in the success of the students, and that was largely based on parents are at the table and they serve as the formative developmental educators for their students. So one of the things she states is the goal for parental involvement prior to college years, basically in the K through 12 system, is in part to promote respect, trust, appreciation, and collaboration between and among all adults who influence children's lives and learning. In essence, what she's saying is parents and people who are involved with students in the K through 12 system in particular really are focused and should be focused on helping students grow and develop. Michael Folan, who we used a lot in another class I had taken, supports this by saying the closer the parent is to the education of the child, the greater the impact on child development and educational achievement. So in essence, by keeping parents in and around and involved in the K through 12 system, it aids the students in becoming good learners and growing on their own. And in this, the students, and this is going back to Epstein, she talked about students having multiple identities, and that is one, being family members in the home, two, being students in the schools, and three, being citizens in the community, which it's critical to look at them from these three lenses as we continue forward, because we look at the challenge in higher education when we start talking about the term parental involvement. We, being university administrators, think about all the negative things and the negative stories we like to talk about in terms of parents being involved. And first, that is the helicopter parents, and that is named as such because parents tended to hover around their students, making sure they're involved, so therefore they were nicknamed helicopter parents quite some time ago. Then we had the stealth bomber parents, which were parents that swooped in, dropped a big bomb, created a huge stir and concern, and then got out of there before they could do anything else and left the university administrators holding the bag of trying to resolve an issue and a problem. And then we had the lawnmower parents, and that later became known as the parents who pretty much cut down any obstacles in the way, leveling the playing field to make sure that their son or daughter had everything they need and that no one else but their son or daughter got the equal treatment, so that no one got anything special. The second part of the challenge is that we as university administrators, we tend to think we know everything best because we went to school to work with college students, so once they come to us, then obviously we should know what we're talking about. Sarcasm included, no additional costs there. In many cases, we're not sure how to involve the parents, so what we really do is we set up those gates, the gates of college, and say, you can't come in, we're going to exclude them from those things. So there's some need for understanding that we as university administrators or thinking about the college world is that first, parents are the primary caregivers for students, so we can't take that away from them. They raised them, they were their first teachers in essence, so they have a vested interest in the success of their child, and they should. Secondly, a college degree, and in fact nowadays more than just a college degree, is needed to get a good paying job. So I think we can expect to see more students attending college as we continue. With that being, more students equals there are more parents. More parents is more potential to get parents involved. And we have to keep in mind that not all parents are equal, meaning that we have some first-generation college students, we have some students who come from a long line of those who have attended and gone to college, and we have some students who have come to college who have parents who tried college and it didn't work out so well and maybe dropped out. So we've got a wide variety of parents who are coming to the table, essentially. Some of my takeaways in looking at this is we need to be blurring the lines between K through 12 and college. Epstein's overlapping spheres of influence is really essential to keep in mind that students are not just students. They are not just members of a family. They are not just citizens in the community. These personas, these ideas, these identities are going to overlap, and there is no one factor that's going to always dominate over the others. There's also no absolute compartmentalization These lines are very fluid. This is a very holistic viewpoint of students. There are no switches that we can flip to say, okay, today you're going to be a student, today you're going to be a child, and tomorrow you're going to be a citizen in the community. These are all intermixed and flowing between them. Then we can look at Bandura's self-efficacy, where we talk about somebody has the skills or possesses the skills, the ability to actually use those skills, and the support to use those skills and get a successful outcome. So if a teacher possesses high efficacy levels, as Epstein puts it, they're more likely to involve parents in the children's education. As university administrators, we have to think like this and say, if we possess a high enough level of self-efficacy, as in our roles as university administrators, we were probably more likely to involve the parents as well. But lastly, there are school-like families and family-like schools. And Epstein puts it out there that school-like families, they utilize opportunities to take some instructional practices and use them in the home environments. Family-like schools, complementary to this, embrace the ideas that students are influenced by family settings, so they create those opportunities within a school setting that feels more familiar-like. So one of the questions I pose to us is, how can colleges be more family-like versus building those walls to keep parents out? How can we create opportunities to involve parents? So utilizing and understanding where Epstein was coming from and basically being told to all these students, parents of these students, that they're supposed to be involved in the education of the child, and then they get to college, it's kind of crazy for us. So Epstein set that foundational stage. College administrators, we really need to continue that concept, as I've just mentioned. And lastly, we should not, when parents come to us, give them this message: you shall not pass. Had to throw in Lord of the Rings reference there. Thank you for taking the chance to listen to this a little bit. Hope you get some understanding of how we as through college administrators can utilize the focus of Joyce Epstein, as what she does is really foundational for the work that we do. We just have to acknowledge that parents are being told to be involved, and we shouldn't be upset or angry with them for wanting to continue being involved in the college environment. We just have to figure out how to navigate that and work alongside them.